Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Tanvi Taneja. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates Rashtriya Prerna Sthal in Lucknow to honour the life and ideals of former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Bangladesh's interim government reiterates Sheikh Hasina's Awami League will not be allowed to contest the February elections. And Pope Leo decries conditions for Palestinians in Gaza in his first Christmas sermon. Also laments the conditions for the homeless and destruction caused by several conflicts around the world. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated 3 bronze statues at the Rashtriya Prerna Sthal in Lucknow, commemorating the 101st birth anniversary of former Prime Minister and Bharat Ratna Atal Bihari Vajpayee. The statues of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Dr. Shyama Mukherjee Prasad and Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay honour their pivotal contributions to India's political thought, nation building and public service. The complex also houses a state-of-the-art lotus-shaped museum spread across approximately 98,000 square feet. The museum showcases India's national journey and the contributions of these visionary leaders through advanced digital and immersive technologies, offering visitors an engaging and educational experience. Following the inauguration, Prime Minister Modi addressed a public gathering attended by Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and Uttar Pradesh Governor Anandiben Patel. In his address, Prime Minister Modi said that this Rashtriya Prerna Sthal conveys the message that every step we take and every effort we make should be dedicated for nation building.
ये राष्ट्र प्रेरणा स्थल हमें संदेश देता है कि हमारा हर कदम, हर पग, हर प्रयास राष्ट्र निर्माण के लिए समर्पित हो। सबका प्रयास ही विकसित भारत के संकल्प को सिद्ध करेगा। मैं लखनऊ को, उत्तर प्रदेश को, पूरे देश को इस आधुनिक प्रेरणा स्थली की बधाई देता हूं। और जैसा अभी बताया गया और वीडियो में भी दिखाया गया कि जिस जमीन पर यह प्रेरणा स्थल बना है, उसकी 30 एकड़ से ज्यादा जमीन पर कई दशकों से कूड़े कचरे का पहाड़ जमा हुआ था। पिछले 3 वर्ष में इसे पूरी तरह खत्म किया गया है।
Various parliament members paid heartfelt floral tributes to former Prime Minister Bharat Ratna Atal Bihari Vajpayee and Bharat Ratna Madan Mohan Malviya on their birth anniversaries today. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla, Rajya Sabha Deputy Chairman Harivansh, Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju, Leader of House in Rajya Sabha J.P. Nadda and other leaders paid tribute to Bharat Ratna Atal Bihari Vajpayee and Bharat Ratna Madan Mohan Malviya on their birth anniversaries. Earlier in the day, President Draupadi Murmu, Vice President C.P. Radhakrishnan and Prime Minister Modi paid tributes to the former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee at his memorial Sadaiv Atal on his 101st birth anniversary in New Delhi. Prominent people from all walks of life also paid tributes to the former Prime Minister on his birth anniversary today. On to other important news of the day. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov has said that Kremlin is analyzing the documents on ending its conflict with Ukraine. These documents were brought to Moscow by Special Envoy Kirill Dmitriev from the United States.
Regarding the peace plan, we are analyzing that Dmitry conveyed to Putin. We are analyzing this material, and then, depending on the decision made by the head of state, we will continue our communication with the Americans. We saw the report about Zelensky's truly strange Christmas address yesterday. It was uncivilized and embittered. He seems like an inadequate person.
Некультурно, озлобленно.
Meanwhile, Kremlin also said that Russia had made a proposal to France regarding Laurent Vinachier, a French researcher jailed for violating Russia's foreign agent laws. And Kremlin said the ball was now in Paris's court. Vinachier was sentenced in 2024 to 3 years in jail for failing to comply with laws requiring individuals deemed foreign agents to register and meet a number of stipulations. He is now facing additional espionage charges. France has said that Vinachier was arbitrarily detained and has called for his release. President Emmanuel Macron has denied that Vinachier worked for the French state and has described his arrest as part of a misinformation campaign by Moscow. Back to Asia. Bangladesh remains on edge following a spate of violent incidents amid the turmoil. Bangladesh's Nationalist Party acting leader Tariq Rahman, son of former Prime Minister Khalida Zia, returned to Dhaka after 17 years in self-imposed exile. Tariq Rahman was accompanied by his wife Dr. Zubaida Rahman and daughter Zaima Rahman. Senior BNP leaders, led by Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir, received him at the airport's VIP lounge, where he was accorded a warm and emotional welcome. Following his arrival, extensive security measures were put in place, with thousands of police and law enforcement personnel deployed across the airport, key areas and key security routes. Meanwhile, Khuda Bakhsh Chaudhry, Special Assistant to Chief Advisor Mohammad Yunus at the Ministry of Home Affairs, has resigned from his post in Bangladesh. His resignation was accepted by the President and took effect immediately, according to a Gazette notification issued on Wednesday night. A former Inspector General of Police, Khuda Bakhsh Chaudhry, was appointed to the position on November 10, 2024. His resignation came amid growing criticism of the government's handling of law and order, including demands from citizen groups for accountability following the killing of activist Sharif Usman bin Hadi and the mob lynching of a Hindu youth, Deepu Chandra Das in Mymensingh. Bangladesh's interim government has reiterated that the Awami League will not be allowed to contest the February 12th national elections, citing the suspension of parties' activities and deregistration. Chief Advisor's Press Secretary Shafiqul Alam said that the party's political activities continue to be banned and its registration has been suspended, ruling out its participation in the polls. He made the remarks while responding to questions about a letter reportedly sent by 5 US lawmakers to Chief Advisor Mohammad Yunus, expressing concern over the exclusion of the party. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un oversaw the test firing of long-range surface-to-air missiles near the country's east coast on Wednesday. The launch marked another step in Pyongyang's efforts to strengthen its strategic defense capabilities. According to North Korean state media, the missile test was conducted to assess new high-altitude air defense technology, with targets reportedly destroyed at a range of about 200 kilometers. Leader Kim Jong-un also inspected construction work at a separate site on an 8,700-ton nuclear-powered submarine designed to carry surface-to-air missiles. The submarine program is part of the broader push to modernize the Navy and advance one of the 5 key defense development policies. The US Justice Department has found more than 1 million more documents potentially tied to convicted late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, delaying a full release for weeks while officials redact details to protect victims. The Justice Department began releasing records last week from the investigation into Epstein files, a wealthy financier, Epstein, who died in a New York jail in 2019 while awaiting trial. And now Over 1 million more documents potentially related to him have been discovered and are being reviewed for release. The Epstein Files Transparency Act, passed nearly unanimously by the Congress last month and signed into law by President Donald Trump, mandated the release of all of Epstein files by December 19th. Workers at Port Sudan airport unloaded 25 tons of aid parcels sent by Italy on Thursday. Italy's ambassador to Sudan, Michel Tomasi, said in remarks at the airport that the aid delivery is the first phase of a larger operation, with more shipments by sea planned next year.
This is the first phase of an operation which is much bigger, and that will be followed next year by more shipments by sea, with the idea to support and bring assistance to the approximately 20,000 IDPs in the camps in and around Sudan.
Honduras President-elect Nasri Asfura sent a Christmas message to the nation on Wednesday, pledging not to fail the Honduran people. Asfura, set to take office on January 27, 2026, for the 2026 to 2030 term, pledged in his Christmas message to work tirelessly for the Central American country and called on people to move forward together with determination.
Honduras, en Nochebuena celebramos el nacimiento.
Honduras, on Christmas Eve, we celebrate the birth of Jesus, the Prince of Peace, whose arrival reminds us that love is more powerful than any division. May this Christmas find us more human and more brotherly. This is a time for reconciliation, unity, and peace. We must recognize ourselves for what we are, one Honduran family, today with deep gratitude and honored to be able to serve in this way. I extend my hand so we may walk together with firm determination to work tirelessly for Honduras. I will not fail you.
Para caminar juntos con firme determinación.
Pope Leo XIV led the Christmas Mass at the Vatican on Thursday, delivering a sermon emphasizing faith, compassion, and a message of peace to mark the birth of Jesus Christ. Pope lamented the conditions for Palestinians in an unusually direct appeal. During Thursday's service at St. Peter's Basilica, he highlighted the struggles of the homeless worldwide, delivered a message of peace, addressing global conflicts, and bestowed his blessings to the faithfuls.
Nel nome del Padre, del Figlio e dello Spirito Santo.
Mostraci, Signore.
Venne fra I suoi e I suoi non.
Sorelle e fratelli carissimi.
The Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem, Cardinal Pier Battista Pizzaballa, led the Christmas Mass on Thursday in Bethlehem's Nativity Church in the Israeli-occupied West Bank region. The Palestinian city, revered by Christians as the birthplace of Jesus, had refrained from public Christmas celebrations of the past 2 years as war raged in Gaza. But as a precarious ceasefire in Gaza enters its second month, the city is expected to mark the festive celebration while marching bands and decorations and the return of worshippers from around the world to mark this year's Christmas from the Holy City. Most years, Bethlehem basks in the central place it holds in the Christian story of Jesus' life. Jesus Christ was born there in a stable because there was no room at the inn and was placed in an animal's manger, the humblest of all possible beds. Britain's King Charles and Queen Camilla arrived on Thursday at the Sandringham Church for a Christmas Day morning service. Prince William and his wife Kate, along with other members of the royal family, were also in attendance. Charles and Camilla will spend Christmas at the King's Sandringham estate in eastern England. William, his wife Kate and their 3 children are expected to join them. Prime Minister Narendra Modi attended the Christmas morning service at the Cathedral Church of the Redemption in Delhi, along with a large congregation of Christians of Delhi and North India. The service included prayers, carols, hymns and a special prayer for the Prime Minister. Over the last few years, PM Modi has been regularly attending programs that have connected with the Christian community. During Easter 2023, he attended an Easter program at the Sacred Heart Cathedral, New Delhi. During Christmas 2023, he hosted a program at his residence, 7 Lok Kalyan Marg in New Delhi. In 2024, he attended a dinner at the residence of Minister George Kurian and also a program hosted by the CBCI. This shows a regular engagement of the Indian Prime Minister with the Christian community.
On this holy and joyful festival of Christmas, we thank God for bringing us together in fellowship, hope, and thanksgiving. May the light of Christ, who came into the world to dispel darkness, guide our leaders, bless our church, and bring peace, justice, and goodwill to our nation and the world. Once again, we want
On Christmas Day, DD India's Siddharth Bhardwaj interacted with the Bishop of Church of North India, Delhi, Diocese Right Reverend Dr. Paul Swaroop. During this interaction, the Bishop gave the message of peace and love that Christmas conveys and its importance given the present global tense scenario.
Sir, Merry Christmas to you first of all, and
to you as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi coming, and participating and attending the morning services. What message goes out, and what do you personally feel about it?
I think it is a message of peace more than anything else. I think he came really to pray, and that was what was communicated to us. There was no unnecessary, arrangements that were made. He quietly came, sat in the first pew, participated in the regular proceedings of the church. The normal prayer which we do on Christmas Day, that is exactly what we followed. And we had 2 carols in Hindi, and then he prayed on his own. Then I prayed for him, blessed him, and then he left. That was...
What other message this festival gives?
See, 2 key messages, I think, that are very, very important for our world today. The first is of peace. And peace in our world in terms... If you look at the number of wars that are going on internationally. And so Christ came to bring reconciliation, to bring peace. And not only peace in the world, but peace within ourselves. The second message, I would say, is love. The word says, God so loved the world that he gave his only son, Jesus, that whoever believes in him will not perish but have eternal life.
Thank you so much for talking to DD India. That was Bishop Paul Swaroop, who said that this festival gives a message of peace, and not just peace in the world, but peace within ourselves as well. And the second message which goes out through this festival is of love. With camera person Sunil Kumar, this is Siddharth Bhardwaj reporting for DD India in New Delhi.
Tariffs were one of the biggest economic stories in 2025, and towards the end of the year, things aren't getting any easier. As of this week, China has levied tariffs on EU dairy products. Lars Holte is with Deutsche Welle and joins me from Berlin on the story. Lars, what's the latest on these tariffs imposed by China for EU dairy products.
China has put tariffs of between 21.9% and as high as 42.7% on EU dairy products. That is quite a range, and it's at least partially tied to whether or not certain EU member countries and even the dairy farmers there have been cooperating in an investigation that China has conducted over the course of the last year. An investigation that for Beijing led to the conclusion that Brussels is unfairly supporting its dairy farmers, putting Chinese farmers at a disadvantage. So to rectify this, Beijing has levied now the lowest tariffs of just under 22% on Italian exporters. About a dozen French dairies pay around 30%. Some German companies just a tad less at 28.6%. And then the highest tariffs have been put on Belgian and Dutch exporters, over 42%, as I said.
Okay, Lars, what will it all mean for future trade between the European Union and China?
Well, for now, we will likely see further tariffs. Brussels does say that China is playing an unfair game when it comes to subsidizing its companies. But since the Chinese economy has only become more powerful in recent years, they will likely not change their game plan there. Meanwhile, in the EU, economists worry that trade between China and the EU will become more and more of a one-way street, with China exporting massively to Europe while not importing that much anymore. Now, that has to do with a weaker consumer market on the one hand, with lower demand for goods in China, but more than anything, it has to do with China gaining a much more powerful position with regards to technology, especially future technologies. The country also has some tremendous advantages here, not least the availability of rare earths and other resources needed in chip making and such. So one thing is sure, the trade imbalance between the EU and China will grow rather than ease up, and the topic will certainly follow us into the new year as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Lars Holter there reporting from DW Berlin. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi virtually attended the closing ceremony of the Sansad Khel Mahotsav 2025. Young athletes from across the country who are participating in this festival also joined the event. Prime Minister also interacted with some of the athletes. The athletes praised the Sansad Khel Mahotsav and shared their experiences. Addressing the event, Prime Minister Narendra Modi applauded the continuous efforts being made to promote sports in India. He said Sansad Khel Mahotsav has now become a mass movement.
देश भर में 290 से अधिक सांसदों की इस कार्यक्रम का योजना करना, लाखों नौजवानों को जोड़ना और 1 करोड़ से ज्यादा युवा खिलाड़ियों द्वारा इसमें रजिस्ट्री करवाना देश के हर कोने की हिस्सेदारी है और शहरों से लेकर गांव तक हर पृष्ठभूमि के युवाओं की सहभागिता ये दिखाता है कि इसका स्केल कितना बड़ा है.
And that's all for this edition of DD India Live. Do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. Connect with us on our different social media handles at DD India Live. And you can also download our DD India mobile app for quick news and updates on the go. The QR code on the screen for you to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Tanvi Taneja from all of us here in New Delhi. Thank you for watching. Namaskar.